Do you want to learn how to draft this A-line skirt back and front the proper way and the important points that you need to know? If yes, this video is personally for you. Then come with me, let me show you how. If you really want to learn, watch this video from beginning to the end. Don't skip so that you can gain from this video. Before we start this tutorial, we need measurement. Measurements when it comes to drafting a pattern is very crucial. Please take note of that. We are going to need 4 measurements. The waist circumference 1, the hip vertical measurement 2, the hip circumference 3, then the full length of the skirt that we are creating 4. I'm going to be using my dress form measurements for this tutorial because this dress form is very close to human body. You can use your own measurement or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. When you follow every step that I'm going to take here today, you will definitely get the same results. So let's start with the number 1 measurement, which is the waist circumference. Bring your tape, put it around the innermost part of your waist, like this, the natural waistline. As you can see, my dress form waist circumference is 30. Whatever you get in yours, please write it down. Then the number 2 measurement is the vertical hip measurement. It's very important so that you know where to find your hip. So put your tape in the beginning of your waistline, then bring it down to the part that is bulging out. Yes, that is where you are going to stop your tape. As you can see, my dress form vertical hip measurement is 7. Whatever you have in yours, please write it down. Number 3 is the hip circumference. I know exactly where to take my hip circumference because it's already marked for 7. Then you mark your own so you know exactly where to take your hip circumference from. So I put my tape around the hip like this. As you can see, it's 40 inches. Whatever you have in yours, please write it down. Number 4, which is the last one, is the full length of the skirt that we are creating. For the full length of the skirt that I'm creating, I'm going to be using 25. You can use any length that you desire, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you have in yours, please write it down. The 4 measurement that we have taken, we are going to use it here now. And this is my block card. It's called card because it's thicker than the normal pattern paper. And I'm going to be using this block card for this tutorial today because I've already mastered all my lines. And I will be using marker so that you can see my lines vividly at home. And I'm going to tell you, whatever we are doing here today, if you are going to put it into practice, you definitely have to use a pattern paper and a pencil. Have eraser by your side. You make any mistake, you'll be able to clean and continue. Block card. And when you finally I don't want you to use your card for trial and you are satisfied, because block cards are very expensive, you cannot transfer it to this. I thought I should let you know. And you need to know the length and the width of the block card that you are using. The length of my card is 30 inches and we are using inches today, while the width is 20.5 inches. So make sure you have enough card that will cover the length and the width of your drafting. Then the next step is to draw a start line. I normally use 1 inch for my start line. The width of this ruler is 1 inch. So I'm going to create a start line here now. Because this place is very straight, to serve as our center front. This start line will be where we are going to take our waist measurement from. The next step is our vertical measurement. That's the measurement we took earlier. And dress form vertical measurement is 7. From the waistline down to 7, I'll mark. The next step is the full length of the skirt. The full length of the skirt is 25 inches. Whatever length you want to use doesn't matter, but I'm using 25. And I'll bring these 2 measurements to almost the extreme of the card. Why? To enable me to get accurate horizontal lines. And I'll roll across. The skirt block is divided into 4 parts. We're only using 1/4 of those parts. So for that reason, we are going to be dividing the horizontal measurement by 4. My dress form waist circumference is 30. When I divide 30 by 4, I'll have 7.5. I'm going to measure that 7.5 here because it's a fitted A-line skirt, no ease allowance, or else you don't like your skirt to be falling down your waist. So I mark 7.5 inches here. The next step is the hip circumference. My dress from hip circumference is 40. When I divide 40 by 4, I'll have 10. And this is the 10 here. But this 10, I'm going to add half an inch for ease allowance, because you don't want your skirt to be glued to your hip. So you need to free it a little bit. That will be 10.5 here now. Before we go further, please pay attention to what I'm going to say right now. This is very important. This hip point is very important. This point is for two things. It's a guide for you not to draw your A-line lesser than your hip. Secondly, this point is the point that will determine how wide your A-line is going to go. That is the reason for this point. Don't bypass it and don't bring it lesser. You have to work with this particular point when you are creating your fitted hip A-line skirt. Very important. Let me quickly define what an A-line skirt is for you. What is an A-line skirt? An A-line skirt is a skirt that is fitted at the hip level and gradually widens towards the hemline, giving you the impression of the shape of capital letter A. That's the definition of A-line skirt. It gives you fitting at the hip level, then gradually widens towards the hemline. So you see, you cannot omit that particular point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Except you are showing a loose hip A-line skirt. Then you cannot draft the A-line from the waist down to the hemline. That's okay. I did that in my 3-in-1 skirt block. But for fitted hip, I encourage you to work with the hip point. The next step is to connect this point to this point with a French curve. If you don't have a French curve, carefully maneuver it with your hand, please. You drag this line now to your hemline. Like I said, this line is going to determine how wide your A-line is going to go. Your line has to tally with this coming line. It has to be straight, not like this. See? The line is very straight, along with the fitted hip. Waistline, the hip line, the hemline, and the center front. Because we are using 25 here, we are going to measure that 25 along this line. Then you curve it out. Then the A-line is ready. If you like, you can step this center front down with 1 inch. Then connect it to this part. It doesn't really matter, or you can leave it straight. But this is A-line skirt. It doesn't have that. So for me, I'm leaving mine straight. So the next step is to trim it out. The front of our A-line skirt is ready. I'm done with the front. This is the back block. To create the back block is very simple. The difference between the back and the front is just the zip allowance. I normally use 1.5 inches for my zip allowance in case I want to adjust, or in case I want to overlock the edge of my zip allowance. Now I'm going to measure 1.5 inches right now, then I rule across. You can use 1 inch if you like, it doesn't matter. Zip allowance, front block, and put it on top of the back block. Then line this center front with this zip line. You can sellotape the back and the front together here and here, or pin them together with tailor pins to prevent it from shifting away. As for me, I'm going to use pin. Now I've pinned the front to the back. The next thing is to trim out the edges. As you can see, I've successfully cut it out. I'm going to remove the pin now. So the next thing is to bring this line to the back block. To do that is very easy. All you need to do, shift the front forward a little bit, then mark. Then shift the front back a little bit, then you mark. The back and the front of this A-line skirt is ready. So the next step is the waistband. And the back waistband is definitely going to be longer than the front waistband. because of the zip allowance. The waist measurement of the front is 7.5, while the back measurement is 7.5 plus 1.5. That will be 9 inches that I'm going to cut out. I'm using 4 inches to cut it out with the folding. Then when you want to use it to cut out your fabric, you can add your seam allowance on both sides. This might be 1 inch, half inch on the other side, half inch on the other side. That's it. I just demarcated it. It's on the fold. When you cut it out, you know you have to fold your fabric into two like this. This will be the facing, this will be the front. Then you can add half an inch on both sides for seam allowance. That means if you are cutting this in your pattern paper, it's going to be 5. 2.5 on this side, 2.5 on that side. The important point that I was talking about on my thumbnail, I think I've established that is the hip point that I explained to you. Make sure you work with that. I think that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give me thumbs up. And don't forget to share this channel with others so that other people can know what is happening on this channel. There are loads of things that is going on this channel that you can't find anywhere. Yes, bring people to it. They will thank you for it later. And if you've not subscribed, please try and do so, because a lot of things that you've not even seen in fashion world, they are going to be coming on this channel. Some are already there that you've never seen before. Like before in one block, you are seeing the first time on this channel. There are other things already on this channel that you need to go and watch, and you will learn a lot from it. There are fast and easy methods on this channel that can enhance your sewing, that can make you learn sewing very fast. So I encourage you, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. God bless you.